Financially Speaking, hosted by Mike Blanton from Successful Financial Strategies. Mike has trained over 1,000 financial professionals over the past 10 years and is a registered investment advisor and member of FINRA and SIPC. He does not discuss specific stocks, bonds, or mutual funds on the air, but focuses on financial environments and concepts that are easy to understand. Now, here's your host, Mike Blanton.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Western North Carolina. This is Mike Blanton, and this is Financially Speaking. We're here on News Radio 570 WWNC. Beautiful day, lots of sunshine. Get your coffee, your pen, pencil, piece of paper. Sit down. We're going to talk a little bit about money. You know, one of the things that I was asked by one of the local news guys is, what do I think about what's going on in our country and our world and the debt ceiling and all those kind of things. And this is not a political show. We're not going to talk a lot about politics, but I think basically what the country is demonstrating is something that we're doing to ourselves. If you think back of really what's happening, basically we've got no control over spending. And this is self-inflicted wounds. We often run into that people who are doing that to their own selves financially. And, you know, I was asked, you know, what can we do about that? And it's very easy to solve this issue. It's kind of like somebody who is killing the one that you love, and they're doing that with a knife. Well, the logical thing to do is to what? Reach over there and take the knife away from them so they no longer do that. So understanding our country, really what's going on, they have the same problem that a lot of us have. A lot of people in our own country having their own private lives, and they're spending more money than they actually have, and they're actually bringing into their financial environment. So one of the things that we've talked about over and over and over again is getting spending under control, avoiding those mistakes, which we've talked about with credit card debt, car payments, those kind of things. Excuse me. And how do we operate from here on out responsibly? And one of the things most people are kind of really worried about is, what do we do now based on what we see happening with the government? And the main thing that you've got to understand as a consumer, I'm not really so worried about the number of the debt. What I'm worried about, and what I think you should be worried about or considering, is what steps is the federal government taking to circumvent the self-inflicted wounds? One of the things we're going to talk to today about is risk, Don, and I appreciate you being with us. And basically, what do you do in the environment that we're in? But I think the main thing we've got to understand is you do this by planning long term, making decisions that basically are going to secure up your financial future, and typically that comes in handling risk. And you know, you have some comments and ideas that you've taught me about risk, and you know, you want to share some of those with us.
Well, certainly. I think risk is an issue that goes straight to the word investing. Anytime that you bring up that word risk, it all has to do with investments and what am I earning, my rate of return. But I think the key is for folks is to understand the difference between savings and investing. When I look at savings is a very important component of one's financial picture. How much are you putting away? Now, I know a lot of people don't like to hear that word savings because it takes discipline. That's painful. But there's two types of pain. Mm-hmm. There's the pain of discipline, mm-hmm. meaning I've got to discipline myself, and that is painful. But there's also the pain of regret. And everyone's going to experience pain.
In some fashion.
It's just choosing which one. So when I say the word savings, I'm talking about, do you have money in an account that you can't lose? Big difference between investing, because investing is an account where, yes, you have the potential for growth. However, you also have the potential for loss. And I think that's a key issue. I was in a law firm downtown. I won't mention the name, but there was a gentleman. He was about 78 years old, and I think he just comes in to get his check. But I said, well, give me some good information. What would you recommend? He said, obviously, the return on your money is more valuable than the return of your money, rather, is more valuable than the return on your money. So philosophically, I really think that's a key issue for people to get their arms around. Are you losing in areas? Have you avoided the losses? Because a loss is something that you have control of. Return, most of us have very little access to that or control in any particular area. So I use the luck factor. And I don't know if you've talked to your listeners about that, but LUCK, the luck factor. What is the luck factor in finance? Well, the first one is liquidity. Do you have money in a liquid position? Do you have use of the money? Do you have control of the money? And then the K comes in. Do you have the knowledge to make sure that the dollars you have are doing what they need to be doing without losing? So in these accounts, again, back to our savings versus investing, having money in an account, a savings, not just dollars, well, you should be looking for an account that compounds interest. Preferably, you'd want it in a tax-deferred account where you're not being hammered by the government with 1099s. But that access to capital is extremely important. And very simple acronym, are you applying the luck factor to your finances? Do you have liquidity, use, and control of your money? And the knowledge that you're applying, is it avoiding the losses?
Everybody's looking for that long ball. I think, it's almost the further behind you get, the harder you try, and the more because you're not really doing what is a prudent thing for you to do, which is basically save money. Most people that have become wealthy or somewhat successful over their lifetime is because they kept saving money on a consistent basis. That was part of who they are. They created wealth by building more and more power by stacking up more and more money.
Well, Mikey, I think the truth is, I'm sorry about calling you Mikey there, but
that's all right.
I'm probably one of the guys on the planet that has the privilege of doing that. But, I think the issue there is, when you step back from it all, if you have access to your money in savings, so what does that mean? Most people who have amassed a fortune in their lifetime, even people who have invested in the stock market and mutual funds, if you look at who's really made a lot of money, well, where was all the money made? Well, it really wasn't made from the investment choices that they picking the winners.
Right.
It was really made from their occupation and the earnings that they had in income that they put away on a systematic, regular basis. It wasn't, I had a little bit of money and I put it over here in this account and I made a fortune. Oh, there may be a few people like that who have hit it in the money markets and mutual funds. And
they do that in Cherokee
stocks.
too, don't they?
Well, there's a few winners.
There's a few.
But they don't build those buildings in Vegas from winners. Those are all losers. So keep that in mind.